Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week again. So light them if you got them, because this is the PD Skillz Show. This week, we have got a good friend of mine, former promoter, soon to be promoter again, as the rumor has it, Pierre Doucet, former promoter of No Limits Wrestling. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, my friend?
Good, good. I am glad to finally see you again, all the way out in New Brunswick.
For sure. In beautiful downtown La Plante, New Brunswick, population 328.
And how have you been loving it down there since the move?
Man, it's so peaceful and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, cops don't come here.
That's a bonus.
It's nice.
Is that just because they know it's a waste of time, pretty much? Peaceful, pretty quiet.
The local city limits, and maybe about a kilometer from here. And our area is covered by the RCMP, which is located in Bathurst, about 30 minutes away. So unless there's like a murder or domestic violence, like they're not showing up for people drinking and being a little too loud.
Yeah, they don't come unless they're called.
Yeah. Well, and even if they're called, apparently not really. Like, I heard one neighbor had called the cops on somebody else because of something happening too loud. And they're like, yeah, well, sorry. Like, we've got too many things to deal with. You're just gonna have to deal.
Fuck.
So yeah, it's our lovely little lawless wasteland. Love it.
There you go. Well, let's get into it before we go into future projects and all that shit, and just shoot the fucking breeze. Let's fill people in here. So, Pierre, when would you say was your first independent wrestling experience? When did you first get involved in the indie scene, or even first attend, an independent wrestling show?
The first show I saw, I've been going to wrestling shows since I was a kid. My dad was a big wrestling fan. When he was living in Ottawa, when he was much younger, he used to go to international wrestling. We grew up around Grand Prix wrestling in the Maritimes, so there was a lot of Leo Burke, Stephen Pettipak, Cuban Assassin. I used to go to all the shows. Then WWF came around, and that was basically the only game in town.
Yeah.
As far as indies, my tattoo artist buddy Jimmy showed me.
Hellbent?
Yep.
Yes.
Jimmy Vandalay taught me that UWA was running, as well as Stranglehold was doing a deathmatch tournament the same weekend.
Okay.
So we went to 2 out of 3 shows. I got to see Necro Butcher for the first time. Got to see Lufisto for the first time. Madman Pondo.
Now, is that your first experience with deathmatch wrestling live?
Live, yes. I had been watching it since I was a kid. But
yeah, I figured everybody, whether it be by tape or watching it on pay-per-view or satellite or whatever it is, scrambled through whatever channels. I mean, usually people that were hardcore had an idea of deathmatch, but seeing it live was at some point a rarity.
It was definitely interesting,
especially when you're further, if it's Ottawa area at the time or East Coast, stuff like that, where things were more spread out as far as wrestling.
Yeah, well, around 2001, there was a company around here called Real Action Wrestling that decided to bring a little hardcore. They had a couple of tours that had Bill Scullion and Notorious TID. They painted the entire scene red, as they used.
Was that prior to him being Bill Scullion, or?
No, he was Bill Scullion. He wasn't the mulleted Wild Bill.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where Tid hurt his neck way back in the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh shit.
Yep. But yeah, then moved to Ontario and finally discovered the scene over there. Started helping out Scullion with some of the Stranglehold shows until I realized that, it wasn't a good thing.
Hey, fair enough. But not everything turns out good for everybody.
Exactly. I got the stereotypical Bill experience, but wish him nothing but the best.
I don't get this. See, and that's what I mean. And I know what it is. Like I hear everybody fucking talks. Like it's always, it's always been a different, build to me. And I like it doesn't say that other bill doesn't exist. I don't know.
I've seen the good side of Bill, but I've also seen the bad side of Bill enough to. I am very glad for the experience I got with him, but I'm also glad I can stay far, far away from him and never see him again.
So that was kind of your like first like inside experience into the like wrestling and anything. Like, is that where you first like started kind of helping out behind the scenes for the
That's
first
where I
time?
first started helping out behind the scenes. That's the first show I helped back. We did a show at the old Amsterdam brewery called Rehab.
Yeah.
It was a learning experience, that's for sure. Everyone walked away with a pocket full of money, and I walked away losing almost $1,000. But
Holy shit.
Learning experience.
Yeah, those come, especially
oh
on the
yeah,
promoting end.
oh yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I got myself into what I got myself into, and I learned from it. I wouldn't get myself in that situation again.
So you did stuff there, and then obviously you moved on because I mean, you obviously got to the point where No Limits Wrestling became a thing. When did you first decide like I know enough that I can do my own show now? Like this is the time I want to do a show.
I took quite a few years helping out with Death Proof from 2014, 15. I'm not sure. I don't want to give myself any more credit than
Yeah, fair enough.
But basically it was the show after Chic and Necro when I started helping out financially. I would never take any credit for any of the product that was Chad's baby.
Yeah.
But
But
financially,
I
I
mean, you
helped
become a
out.
sounding board. You're there. You're a hand at the shows. Like,
I sat and I learned and watched and tried to take it as much as I could. And Chad was, unlike Bill Scullion, in my opinion, Chad was quite a great mentor. I learned a lot from Chad as far
yeah,
as promoting, as far as online promoting, advertising.
yeah. So it was more of a you're helping me, but I'm also gonna show you how to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
As opposed to this is the box I want you in and need you in right now, and stay there or get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, Chad decided to stop doing Death Proof. The whole Bill Chase shut down Death Proof was supposed to be Death Proof going away for, at the time, probably forever.
Yeah.
So I talked to Chad, got his blessing, and decided, with what I learned and the help that I could get from him going forward, I decided to try my hands in that No Limit Wrestling.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because like you guys did the Death Proof tournament at No Limits Wrestling, so that was kind of neat. And like it just kind of like it like passed. It was almost like a torch passing some of the shows. The way the storylines intertwined,
the way it worked out, but obviously Chad still wanted to do Death Proof after a while, and I more than respected him for it.
Yeah, I mean that's no one retires, no Fed's ever gone for good. Like, look we're getting a brand new fucking CZW, we're getting a brand new XPW.
Oh God.
I know. And CZW, like, I feel like it's CZW 2.0. Although I have to admit, I don't hate NXT 2.0. This is the first time I admit this out loud. I don't hate NXT 2.0.
I've seen a little bit of it. It's different. It's more in line with their current product.
Yep.
And it's better than what else they have from what I've seen. So
yeah. And I mean, I also want to say this, like, because I think it's the first time now that Chucky's been made official for Halloween Havoc. If we don't get Chucky and Braun Breaker some sort of interaction, I'm going to be angry as shit. It's going to be the worst time ever.
Braun Breaker. Did they just fire Strowman so they could call somebody else Braun?
No, you know who Braun Breaker is, though, right?
I know.
Okay.
Rick Steiner's kid that looks way too much like Scott.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not assuming anything, but
no, but they're brothers. So I mean,
like
I guess it depends on what kind of drugs you use and how you shave your face.
Yep. So
But
yeah, I decided. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, like like the deal, like you remember the deal with Rick Steiner and Chucky back in the day.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot until just now. I'm a
Yeah.
little high.
Yeah, that's why I want that. That's like the biggest, and it's Halloween Havoc of all things. Same
Yeah.
time they had Chucky and Rick Steiner do the thing. So if it doesn't get the payoff, I'm gonna be pissed.
Let's
That's
hope
like
it does.
that's gift wrapped. If there's one last thing from WCW that you can get a payoff out of, it's
And it's not
Chucky
like
and the
Rick can't show
Steiners.
up as well. So
What's that?
not like Rick couldn't show up either. He's still alive and well.
Oh my god. But I mean, don't get me wrong, with our luck now that it's NXT 2.0, Vince could be like, yeah, cool. We want to make him a Steiner. Okay, he can be Frank and Steiner. Chucky's going to kill him at Halloween Havoc. It's good shit.
God. He's going to job him to Chucky, isn't he?
No, he's winning the title. He's got to win the title.
Fingers crossed. I mean, they're building me up
I
for it.
like Tommaso Ciampa. That's the thing. But if it's the direction they're going in, it'd be a good shocker to just put the champion on someone that represents your new vision.
Yep.
Bright, colorful, young, big guy, fucking good wrestling bloodline.
Mm-hmm. Well, good in a way. Not exactly the most sane bloodline, but
The Steiner Bros were dope before they fucking split off and went off the handle.
remember when Scott Steiner used to grab people and just moonsault and literally just basically headplant himself?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why he's the way he is now.
No, that or the juice.
Yeah. That too.
Both.
Yep.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. So what like I don't know, this may result in a negative answer. Ultimately, like, cause you ran No Limits for a while there, and then you kind of decided to call it Wraps. Was it more to do with moving, or like you just wasn't the project wasn't the project you thought it'd be?
The competition in Hamilton got to be a little much.
Okay.
There were other promoters in Hamilton that realized that I wasn't going to book them. And while they were big supporters of my shows for the first 2 or 3, they turned quite competitive and
Okay, so it was support until it didn't put any money in their pockets, and then it was
sabotage.
Yeah, everything but support.
Oh, I can work for you, but I got to make sure that I don't lose because I'm working for that company. And, if I have a belt with them, I can't lose anywhere else.
That, what, though, that's a mentality for a lot of champions and a lot of companies. And I get it to an extent.
Skewer the man to death.
But I mean, it also depends. Like, are they bringing the title on the show with them?
Nope.
If the title's not going to be on the show with them, then in my opinion, it doesn't matter.
Like, I can't be on the pre-show. No way. I'm a champion somewhere else. Like, have you listened to...
Unless the title's being featured, it doesn't matter. You're fucking Spider-Man and you're just in a different part of the multiverse today.
Yep. I mean, I respected their right, and I was like, okay, well, this sucks because that was a major part of what I had planned for the next few shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, I respected their choice, and I'm like, all right. Use somebody else because the Ontario roster is quite deep.
Yeah, Ontario is definitely a deep pool right now, and like, I'm definitely happy about that because I get to see a lot of different stuff. I'm looking at posters and I'm not necessarily seeing the same 3-4 faces on them that like I used to, like 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Those people grew other talent to come alongside them, and those
Yeah,
people
well, I
drew
mean,
other people, and there's a
like,
few generations of talent now, which is nice.
yeah, and I like because when I like, and it's not even like hating on them because I mean they work hard as fuck, but I mean back when like when I was younger, the business like it was either fucking Duke's, Diener, or Wild. Duke's,
Hmm.
Diener, or Wild. Most shows when I was younger.
Wow, how the business has changed.
Yeah, yeah. Duke's. I mean, Duke still does shows. He's in more of a trainer role, and then obviously fucking Diener's got his thing going on.
And
Diener was
Wild, let's not even go there.
what's that?
Let's not even go there with Wild.
Oh, yeah, I hear that. A lot went on in my absence, I hear, but yeah, if we don't have to go there.
No, I mean, great wrestler.
Oh
Made
yeah,
some
when I
really bad decisions, and I think the business getting away from him was the right thing to do.
because I like you say, can't take away the good wrestler part. Obviously,
No.
like that's one of the guys. Like when I was younger, I was pumped about wrestling him, and then I fucking came back and was told like, yeah, don't put that on your top list no more. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at wrestlers is like I can respect the fuck out of a wrestler's ability, but if they're a piece of shit human, doesn't really matter. Like,
Yeah, I and that's I think that's part of the thing too with the way with social media, modern technology, and all that. Like, there's a lot of people that we were probably influenced by as far as movies and music and all that stuff. I mean, some of them come to light even now, and it's and a lot of like artists that like are darker people like put on this great show because I mean that is their greatest ability is to put on a show, right? So you have no clue, but now like everything comes to light. It's like fuck.
yeah, most of our idols were probably people we want to hang out with
Yeah,
a
when
lot
I
of
was
the
younger,
time.
they used to say don't meet your idols. Now it's don't follow them on social media.
Yeah, tell me about it. I
So
mean, I've lost idols and friends because I followed them on social media and saw a side of them that I just couldn't be around.
so let's focus. You know what? Let's fucking change. We're gonna change your focus. I want to go to
Yeah.
some good. I want to shed some light here. During your time doing, No Limits, what would you say? Let's go. Let's get your top like 5 things from No Limits Wrestling. 5 memories that you were happy you got to see go down in what was essentially your ring.
Um, the fact that I actually got to have Shawnee Mo in one of my matches, 2 of them actually,
Yep.
um, means a lot to me because that was one of his last matches before he had to start stepping away when he
Yeah.
first got his diagnosis.
Yeah. Before he
That
came
means a
back for a
lot to
little
me.
bit.
Yeah. Um, Darby Allin being there.
Yeah. That
In
I had a
hindsight,
feeling that would come out. That's a dope one now too.
um, the deathmatch gauntlet was one of my favorite fucking things. It ended up being a little bit of a clusterfuck because the segment went way too long before and some things had to be rushed. But what else? The strong style tournament definitely has to be number 1. And probably also having a cage match.
Who was the cage match between again?
It was the whole feud between Bill Chase's people
That's right.
and Warhead, Jesse Mack, and I forget.
At the time,
Match itself wasn't very good, so I
at the
haven't
time, just
rewatched
trying
it.
to. It wasn't Cash.
Maybe.
A motto at the time.
No, it wasn't Amato. Amato only had 1 match. Probably Cash. Because they were fighting Tyler Hill, and I thought Matt Cash was heel at the time.
Oh, then who knows? I have no idea then.
I have to sober up and look. But yeah, the strong style tournament, the whole show was just to me, you know.
Yeah. And it's cool because I mean, even looking back on it, I mean, you'll be able to, hopefully as of this Sunday, like already you could say, you got to have a guy went on to be an X Division champion, hopefully a world champion by Saturday.
Made him. Fucking made him.
Fuck.
It's all because of me.
That man
I
built
made
himself.
this kid. If anyone's going to take any quote from this, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
Pierre Doucet takes credit for Darby Allin, loser promoter from...
Pierre Doucet goes full Virgil.
Oh, God. Well, if I could have his dick size, I'd be happy. Alleged.
According to Virgil, but that's the problem. It's according to Virgil.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Darby Allin, who obviously became, TNT champion in AEW, so that's dope.
Speaking of dope, Manweed Wrestling Federation would have been fun.
Yeah, so what, obviously being a fucking stoner is what birthed that idea. Well, what made you go this is the next, finally go, this is the next product I wanted to do? Obviously, once you moved, that stopped being a thing, but
yeah. Basically thinking there's so many wrestling companies that are catered towards drinking. There's I think Junction City's doing a bunch of bar shows.
The moonshine branded.
Death Proof was obviously a big drinking party show.
It's a party type show, yeah.
But there was no company that catered specifically to weed. And with a bunch of independent-ish dispensaries starting to open, I started to explore if anyone was interested in bot shows. Turns out some of them were. And then I started contacting people that have festivals, and turns out they were interested in bot shows. So I started planning ahead. And as soon as I started planning, of course, the Rona came.
Yep.
I had 3 days booked for a bot show in May, and that got taken away, pushed to the next year. And then starting in July or August, they were like, yeah, this next year thing might not even happen. So let's hold off. And, we lost a bunch of money. We're going to have to take a step back.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, well, I might just be moving. So fuck it. What's the point? I'm not going to keep a wrestling company that hasn't started yet from keeping me from moving back to see family. So
yeah, no, definitely, especially if the project didn't get a chance. So maybe, of all the, bad things we could say about COVID, maybe that's one of the good things in disguise, that, you didn't get a chance to really fully invest in that, and then have the difficult, not difficult decision, but, unfortunate decision of having to go, nope, another project. That's just cut.
It's fine by me. I didn't lose anything. I lost a few bucks getting logos made, but they were donated to a good friend. It's all good.
Yeah, coming soon, new PD Skillz t-shirts, biatch.
Ka-ching!
But I mean, for now, y'all can get the ones that are at the bottom of the screen here. So, I mean, that'll be great. I love that Pierre's doing it, because realistically, while we're recording this, you can't see them, but by the magic of video editing, they'll be there.
Ooh.
Yep, that's how we do it. So now, I mean, you're settled in, and we've gotten to see the new announcement there. So you're going to be doing a new wrestling project. Tell me all about it.
Yes.
Tell me all about it like I don't know anything to start, because obviously I do.
Yeah, I got a little bored. I started seeing a lot of the wrestling companies around here. I've also been watching the wrestling that comes to the Shoulder region, which is, anywhere from Beldoon, Petit Rocher, all the way up to the Bathurst area. I don't know if you know anything about this area, but
yeah, absolutely. I sell insurance in the shoot jobs, so across the country, so I'm pretty good geographically.
Nice. So I've noticed a lot of companies have come to the Bathurst area. I mean, I've been watching wrestling since the 80s. it seems like every time it's a company will, you know, do their base of operations somewhere, and once every year or two they might do a show in Bathurst and Campbellton or Bathurst and Caracat. And it always seems like it's a lot of, we're establishing that we're taking over this territory as well, but nothing, like, it's not catered to the local area. It's, I hate to say it sounds like an afterthought, but it sometimes is.
That one, what was that one company called before that's Prestige or whatever now?
Yes. Good guys.
Yeah, it was LGPA.
That's right. They rebranded because they realized that the GP part of the name may not have been the safest name to use because of other people that had GP in their name. Grand Prix.
Yeah, obviously the Grand Prix part. So there was a worry about that with like New Japan stuff.
No, it was more of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling was here.
Oh, okay.
So
more local.
The company was named in French. It was Le Grand Prix d'Acadie, but it was still, you know, two companies in the area that have been around here called Grand Prix. Was just maybe not the right
separation
move. So they decided to rebrand.
Fair enough.
They are running in the Atholville Campbellton area, which is about an hour from here. There's also CAW, Championship Acadian Wrestling, running usually in the Caracat and Acadian Peninsula area. But no one seems to really come to Bathurst or Petit Rocher or this area very often. So I figured I'd take what I've learned from a lot of the hometown, small town shows. I've watched Christy Carvalho fucking kill it with SKM and getting sponsors and doing the right thing to grow a small town. And I'm trying to use a lot of what I've seen him do. I've got to give the man credit.
100% hustles.
And using that to this little area and trying to see if a wrestling product is going to be able to sustain here.
And when you get local sponsors and like that too, like it creates additional like local interest in the show. And like when you know, like when people see you got those sponsors, like you become part of the city, like these.
I'm really hoping so. And I mean, a lot of entertainment around here is just traveling things that come through Bathurst. It would be nice for a wrestling company that actually caters to them, that understands the community and wants to give a show catered to them, as opposed to big city wrestling that's coming to a small town, which sometimes may not translate as much.
So who are some names that people should look into out there?
Out here, there's a bunch of different crews. Obviously, the big names around here, like the Covey Christ, the Marcus Burks, the Marco Estradas. There's also a lot of really good upcoming talent. One guy I'd really like to mention is a young kid named Bailey Blaze, who's every show I've been to here, he seems to be the first guy setting up the ring. The first guy getting in the ring, being like, okay, who can teach me more? I'm a new student. I just graduated from wrestling school. How can I learn? How can I do better? I can do, like, who can teach me something?
Yeah, that's good though. That's a great attitude to have.
Oh, for sure. There's names like Titus, there's Ryan Storm, fucking so many names from so many areas. It's so spread out around here that every major hub has a little crew.
What's the travel like between maritime provinces? Like, is that an easy hop for some, like to get booked around the different maritimes, or
you got to be willing to drive? Like, you might be able to find wrestling in your area, but if you want to work more than once every month or two, you're going to have to travel to Halifax, which can be 4 or 5 hours to some people, can be 8 for some others. Like from me to Halifax is about 5.5 hours. Cape Breton would be about 8.
5.5 hours isn't bad though.
No, not at all.
Neither is 8. That's like, that's where it's, so that's like traveling for me going to like either going to Toronto or going to Ottawa.
Yeah.
It's the same. So, I mean,
and it's an easy drive. It's not like a 20-lane highway. It's usually just like a 2-lane or 4-lane highway where traffic's moving at a steady pace.
Yeah, not a clusterfuck.
Exactly.
Like when it
Well,
takes
when the borders are open anyway.
Yeah, when it takes an hour to get from Toronto to Toronto.
Yeah. If you're lucky.
Yeah. That's the worst stretch.
For sure.
Because I recently did like basically Quebec to London back to Quebec, and Toronto's still king of the terrible stretches.
Yep. Most times I just decide, yeah, you know what? I'm looking at traffic on my phone. Let's do the 407. Fuck this. I'll pay the $50.
I
It's
can't
not
do it.
worth it.
I always set my Google to avoid toll roads.
I do too, but like if I'm driving from here to when I was driving from like Kitchener to Bathurst and back to Kitchener, when I'm driving back and I've already driven 12, 13 hours, I'll avoid it. I'll spend $50 to avoid the hour in traffic.
Yeah, that's fair. Is that how long does it take to get from Toronto to where you are?
About 14, 15 hours, give or take.
Okay.
I've done it in 12.
I was gonna say I've now conquered that stretch in a day, so it's realistic.
Yeah, with a carload of good people, it's a fun drive. And it's all highway driving.
Oh, I did. I mean, the better part of my 16, I did solo. So,
Couldn't imagine.
dude, I won't even. You know what? I won't even lie. About half. It was the debut episode of Rampage, or not debut episode. The second Oh yeah, debut episode that had Omega and Christian.
Yep.
So I basically put that on as background noise and listened to it like a radio while I drove down the road. That gave me the first hour, and then had a buddy on speakerphone for about another hour, and then the rest of the ride I just listened to wrestling entrance theme songs. I'm like, what will keep me up and pumped? I'm like, that's it. Everything, every era, every company, like all the entrance songs.
If I need to stay awake, I'll usually just put on some Mastodon or Atomic Bitch Wax. It'll keep me up.
I need to make an independent wrestling theme song list because there isn't a good one on Spotify.
True.
Yeah, I looked. I mean, obviously you could find all the wrestling stuff, but no one has put together a good independent one. And obviously, if I'm building it, I'm probably going to have some wrestlers no one else to give a fuck about on it. But like, maybe I'll make a cool one while I'm at it. Edit it down to a public version.
Everyone's going to be like, who's Young Love?
Yeah.
Young Love's awesome. But
yeah.
Is
Absolutely.
he still around? Or
yeah.
Cool.
Him and Travis Moore still doing the thing.
Oh, nice. Love Travis.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good dude. I got to know him better with No Ring North, and he's fucking that dude's a soldier.
How has Ontario Indie been affected with COVID, by the way?
Alive and well. Now.
Yep.
Now, I mean, obviously capacity crowds, but it's kind of cool because I like seeing everybody say shows are sold out, capacity crowd. Cool.
Yep. Has anyone had to retire or decided to retire during the pandemic? Or
I mean, I'm sure some people have announced it, but nothing huge. Nothing huge.
Okay.
Where someone's like, I'm done because of the pandemic, or this was the nail in the coffin. There's some people out there like that are calling it quits since things have been back because maybe it's not going as well as they wanted for them, but like outside of that.
Yep.
So yeah, aside from the early victims of being killed by independent wrestling drama, no.
Yep. Well.
So yeah, no. Independent wrestling drama still kills more careers than COVID.
Yep. I mean, independent wrestlers kill independent wrestlers' careers. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Shit on each other. Fuck helping each other out. How can I fuck someone else's life up today?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do up here is like
Fuck
as
people's
far
lives up. Get it,
no,
dog.
trying to not bring the whole competitive aspect. Like Prestige runs a show. I'm going to be the first one to go, hey, what do you guys need? How can I help you guys grow?
Yeah.
CAW, hey, what can I do to help you guys?
Yeah. And I mean, if everybody is, especially like, I mean, obviously it's unavoidable to use some of the same talents, but like, as long as everybody respects when each other's shows are, there's some communication. But what is it? What do you have you kind of figured out that thing that you want to do that's going to make you different than their shows?
I certainly have. I was able to see some of the shows. I felt like a lot of them had good points. Some of them had points that I personally wouldn't do as a promoter. And again, they
So to
promote
take
the shows
obviously just a few things that like you'd adjust to taste.
exactly like wrestlers that I personally wouldn't put on my shows because reason X, Y, Z, or
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of what they
That
bring to the
style or
ring,
whatever it is. Yeah.
or I'm just not 100% sure on, you know, things.
Now I know like obviously we know that it's not going to be, like no limits. It's not going to be strong style X death match.
Nope.
Is there any kind of theme to what you've got going on, or are you going for more of a classical professional wrestling vibe?
The plan is the company is called Acadie Pro. This is a very bilingual area. It's about 80% French. So the name can be used as either Acadie Pro Wrestling or Lit Acadie Pro, depending on who I'm talking to.
Yep. There's logos for both. Get your own logo design by PD Skillz. Hit me up. Do that shit on a low low.
Money, money, money. And yeah, the theme is a lot of companies in the Maritimes seem to be influenced by what they've seen a lot of, which is other companies in the Maritimes. So
yeah,
the pace is sometimes similar. The wrestling style is a little similar. It seems like a lot of the wrestlers are familiar with working each other. I want to kind of try to shake it up a little bit, bring some different talent that don't work together in the same locker room and eventually wrestling each other.
yeah.
If somebody's saying, hey, I really like working with my crew, but I want to get a chance to work somebody else, I want to see what I can learn from people from Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put them in with a, say a PD Skillz or say, I don't know, just throwing a name out there, Holden Albright or, whatever.
Mix it up with someone from like this area.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've gotten to see that in like, out there with Kaizen.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen Aiden Prince come out there, El Reverso. So that's been cool too. Is I've like seen some of the Windsor boys go out there because obviously, Kobe trained here in Windsor, so they have that connection.
Yeah, I've noticed a Mason and Hutchinson, British Brawler.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, the list goes on.
Is his name Ad Hutchinson or is it AD? I keep forgetting.
Ad. I believe it's
okay.
Ad.
I keep seeing it differently, so I never know.
I don't know.
Either way, good wrestler.
It's Ad. I just believe it's Ad.
Yep. Great to see him traveling, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Brawler, technically, anytime you've seen him has been traveling.
Oh, touche.
Yes.
I mean,
now he's talking
how
about
many people from Ontario have
too.
paid from a flight from England to bring in a guy named British Brawler? Man, the flight bills for all these companies. Kayfabe is real, man.
Fuck. So yeah, you got to be excited to do the new project. When's the anticipated launch season?
I am planning for late March, early April. I've got a date in mind. I'm waiting on a couple of confirmations. Other companies in the area might be running the same weekend. I am already sure that I'm not going to be running on the same day, but if we can run on the same weekend and people come in from different areas, I want them to be able to get a lot of work. So
excellent. And that
looking forward to it.
Works right in my time frame because I think the only thing I have set in stone is late April,
Nice.
shortly after the greatest time of the year.
Mm-hmm. 420, motherfucker. Man, that
Yep.
420 weekend showdown. That match could have ended up very differently. Can I tell you a little story?
Yeah, absolutely.
During the lead up to that match, I started learning that one of the members of that match was being a real pain in the cunt. And I know exactly who I mean. I'm not even going to mention that douche's name.
Okay.
You're looking lost, so okay. It was Herbstar.
No, I knew who it was. I was waiting for you to continue, but yeah, that's fine.
He started changing the match around at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Backstage where he changed the whole finish of the match. I was like, dude, like, not cool. The finish of the match should be blank.
Mhm.
Necro walks up to me and is like, oh, you know how in the end we're going to do the sit down punch spot where we're just going to smoke instead? If he's already changed the finish of the match, I might get a little confused. I might start throwing punches towards somebody. So the only reason that match ended the way it was supposed to was because somebody was going to punch out somebody else straight up in the face if they were to fuck up the finish.
That's hilarious.
Because he was planning on just saying, no, fuck this, I'm walking out. And no.
Yeah. How about this? Do it your way, and if it's not done your way, you just punch someone in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe cut this part out. I don't know.
It's my style.
Yeah.
I only owe one punch in the face on the independent wrestling scene. He knows who he is.
Who's that?
Oh, I'm not telling. Like I said, he knows who he is. I'll tell you off the air. I'm just not putting it out on my show.
Fine. I'm going to know.
Oh, of course you're going to know. I'm going to tell you almost as soon as we're off the air.
I know. I'm going to rat you out.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm kidding.
All right, well, fuck it. That's all. Then that's all for that week. I'm getting off the air. I'm giving Pierre the real dish and all that juicy shit that you guys don't get to hear me talk about. So until next time, this is Pierre Doucet. Keep your fucking eyes out. Early 2022 for Lutte Acadie Pro or Acadie Pro Wrestling, depending on what language you speak. And as always, find me at PD Skillz Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Check out the show on all the various sources: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Podbean, wherever you get it. So if you don't want to look at my face or look at Pierre's face, I mean, you can always catch us on the road too, just like any of my other beautiful and or ugly guests. Until next time, I'm PD Skillz. Getting the fuck out of here. Peace.